Thanks to HubSpot for sponsoring this video. A few weeks ago, I put out an Instagram story. I asked some of you what you think about content creation in your business. And of course, the overwhelming responses in common were not having enough time, not having enough space, and also not having enough processes in place to make it happen. And I thought it's a really great idea to share it all in this video so you can know my exact entire process, how it might work for you as well by making it your own, and sharing some of the templates that helped me along the way in my project management tools. Hi, I'm Lori. I'm a digital marketing strategist based in London. On this channel, I simplify online marketing and social media to help you level up your marketing and also business online going forward. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. All right, let's get into it. The struggle around content creation is real, and as anyone who's currently working in the business can tell you this. The reason why I need a content batching process is because I need to front load all the work that's needed to create the content that's needed or to generate leads in my business. So people who are inquiring about my services, my products, my website, and also for brand building purposes. For example, all the contents currently on my social media channels to help me build that audience over time. And then I want to schedule them to go out on the various channels, whether it's my email newsletter, my online social media channels, my video content on YouTube here. So then I can focus and single task on the rest of things in my business, which as you all know is everything else that's going on in the background. So for example, business development, or maybe doing my coaching and consulting work and doing speaking as well around the world, and also in all the different workshops I deliver online too. At the crux of it is that content creation is important, but it's also very time consuming if you don't do it in the right way. And also taking the fact that I have a toddler daughter who doesn't always sleep through the night. So that kind of gives another level of challenge for myself. On some days where I'm extremely exhausted, how do I make sure I still have enough content going out on all of my channels? So before we get started on talking about the process itself, on how it worked for me, I want to mention here is that you need to make space for content creation in your business. If it's a non-negotiable, like the way I consider it to be in my business, then you need to make sure you are scheduling out specific days that you can actually create content around. So for example, on a weekly basis, I have 2 or 3 days where I blocked out specifically, if I need to, for specific content creation. So have a look in your calendar now to see if there are any days that you can block out in your calendar on a regular basis that you can use it for just content creation. And once you make the space for it, you will find a lot more easier to maintain that workflow on a regular basis, on an ongoing basis as well, because content creation doesn't just take one day, but it's a consistency that really builds up over time that helps you build that audience as well. With any content batching process, you need a central marketing plan and template to keep it all in one place. And I recommend this free content marketing template from HubSpot. You can customize it in any way you like, but it's done the hard work for you of setting up for you into the monthly, quarterly, or any specific campaigns as a one-off that you might be running at the moment. As some of you know with how I run my content marketing yearly plans, is that I like to make sure I'm planning around any promotions of products and services around those key periods to make sure I'm boosting the visibility and conversions with my audiences. It's always a good idea to plan your content ahead of time to avoid it being a time suck in your business. Instead, having a batch of content that's ready to publish, simplify your workflow, and build your brand online while you're getting on with the rest of running your business is so important. You can download the template guide for free in the link in my description. And thanks to HubSpot for sponsoring this video. Secondly, I want to talk about the tools that we use in content creation and in this entire workflow that makes it really work seamlessly. It's essentially having a project management tool of your choice. And I don't have a favorite one that I want to recommend here, but the main ones that are out there are examples like Asana, Trello, Notion, which is another favorite for a lot of content creators. And all these platforms have one purpose in mind, is that you can actually organize and see everything with a bird's eye view to see where you are in your content creation process at the moment for your current batch of content, also for your future batch of content. So the thing that I use in my project management tool is a Kanban board, and I'll show you what it looks like on the screen here. And because my content is mainly the video content side, so feel free to make it your own on what you want to call each individual role here. But I have one role called ideas. This is where, let's say I'm currently maybe on the tube in London, traveling around, and I might have an idea that hit me, so I can quickly jot it down in this ideal column here. And then the second column is called scripting. So at this stage, where maybe I think this idea can maybe take off after doing some research on it, then I move that into the scripting column, where I can then start scripting the videos. So I don't talk word by word in my videos. I find that quite robotic. But what I like about it is that I create an outline of what I want to talk about. So I make sure I stay on track. I don't actually go into a tangent, which happens quite often if you actually talk to me in person. And I want to make sure that I'm covering all the main points I want to talk about in that video within the script. And then we move on to the fun part of this process, which is filming. So I usually schedule out, let's say, a day where I literally just sit in front of the camera and shoot 2 to 3 videos in one go. Because I have all the scripting done of all the different videos, it makes it really easy and I can do it in just a few hours. And of course, really important to do some outfit changes in between so I don't actually wear black all the time. It is my favorite color, but I just want to make sure I change it up a little bit for you guys. Keep it fresh, you know? The reason why I don't shoot more than 3 videos, let's say in one go, is because I realized by looking back is that a lot of times my energy level just dips after that. Because you get tired and you're speaking from the camera for so long, you want to make sure you're maintaining your energy level as well as you're doing these things. At the end of the day, I always say content creation is a marathon, not a sprint. So you want to make sure you're giving yourself enough energy to keep that going on an ongoing basis and not burn yourself out. It's just not worth it. And then after that is actually another fun part that I really love, which is editing. So nowadays I do partly the editing. I also outsource some of it to another freelance editor. But I do find that in the beginning, because I was doing the majority of the editing, I was able to find my own style and what I like about how I want to represent my brand. So I think that's really important, is that maybe in the beginning to think about how you can do everything in one go so you can get a sense of how you want the workflow to be like. And then over time, you can integrate individual freelancers to join you on that process as well. Then once the editing is finished, I can move that card or that particular task into the next column, which is called publishing or scheduling. So it depends on if I want to schedule it ahead of time, I can schedule a batch of these content into my YouTube publishing queue, or alternatively, I can actually just publish them as they're live as well, depending on how you are in that process. If you currently have a lot in your batch, you can then schedule it according to your scheduling calendar to make sure you have regular content going out to your audiences. And I want to mention here, the beauty of this process is that you can now use these long form content you created. It could be a video, it could be a blog post, but whatever it is, that there's lots of content, obviously one piece of content here that you can leverage across your social media channels. So what I do is then I use this one piece of content, let's say a YouTube video on this topic, then I think about some of the social media content I can talk about in this topic around the days of the week when that video goes live. So that helps me to promote that video over that week, for example, but also the other benefit is that now I have 5 days worth of social media content I can use. And of course, the weekends are saved for either not posting, or if I do post, it's more personal content. And that allows me to have enough content ideas to go on every single day of the week if I want to. So this whole entire video on social media content repurposing, I'll share in the link here that you can check out as well. And also for repurposing, there are a few of my favorite AI tools I use for this. So for video repurposing, I use video.ai, where I use it to chop it up into smaller digestible pieces for social media. I recommend you checking that out too, because it allows me to have a lot more different formats I can choose from, like different titles, different frame designs, to vary up my content a little bit to keep it interesting for my audiences. And for repurposing text-based content, I use Canva, which then allows me to take the entire video script, use it as a way to inspire me to create some carousels in the back of the ideas I shared. So essentially having my video shared now into different pieces of the slides that I can talk about in my carousels, let's say for Instagram or LinkedIn, and those perform really well on my social media channels as well. Once all of my social media content are ready, and also my full-length YouTube videos are ready, I use a tool called Buffer to help me schedule out everything. So Buffer really covers every single social media platforms out there, except for YouTube, where I want to do it directly through the platform because I just like it that way. It's more of a personal preference. But for every single other platform, I can use it using Buffer to schedule out beforehand and actually see my entire social media queue of content in one glance, which is really helpful to see where my missing gaps are, and maybe there are any other potential content I can put in between slots as well. So once everything is published, I move the status on my Kanban board from scheduling to publish, and I can now move on to the next batch of content. And I believe the key to content batching is single focus. Many times we tend to do multiple things all at once. I'm very much guilty of that myself as an entrepreneur as well. But what we need to realize is a lot of times our human brain isn't wired to jump from one task to the next and still being efficient about it. The key thing is that you want to do one thing at a time. In this case, I have content creation days where I literally just create the content from scratch, let's say the scripting the videos, and then I have the second day where I film the videos, and then the third day where I might edit the videos. So doing one task at a time allow me to use my brain power for that whole day just on this one single type of task. So not jumping around different things which lead to burnout and inefficiency, and it's just not worth it. And then I find that once I get the content all scheduled, my mind have all this amazing free space I can use to work on everything else in my business with much more focus. And that allows me to have that safety of mind, thinking that my content is actually scheduled and running in the background while then get on to the rest of the things I need to do in my business. And that really feels good. So if you currently feel the overwhelm in terms of content creation, trust me, you're not alone. I want to let you know that this is actually a real issue across many business owners and also solo entrepreneurs. But the key thing is that you want to have a work process in place so you have everything in an easy to view format and you can see where everything is. And having that organization will really help you put your mind at ease in creating more content going forward with more efficiency. So let me know if this video helped you by giving a thumbs up, and also let me know that this video is something that you'd be interested in seeing more of going forward. If you like any of the videos in much more detail on specific parts of my content batching process, let's say on the editing or on the scripting, let me know in the comments below. I can share that with you as well. And I'm curious, do you currently have a content batching process or thinking about setting up one? Let me know as well. I look forward to hearing from you. In the meantime, keep creating and keep pushing forward. Thank you so much for following me along this journey, and thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.